Kenshi is an open-world, sandbox RPG simulation game featuring but not limited to sand, slavery, cannibalism, drug smuggling, and acid rain. Basically, everything is terrible, and existence is suffering. Humanity infought so much that they sent themselves back to the Stone Age. Everyone is starving, broke, and afraid. Now, we fight over garbage and rusty scrap metal with sticks and katanas all day. But none of that matters because it's super fun. Open up the game, boot to the main menu, and look at the options. But wait. Suddenly, your dried up soul is breathing and lifted, a tear rising in your eyes. What is happening, you ask? The main menu theme washes over you. In all seriousness, the music is wonderful, extremely thematic, mechanically driven, and assembles itself like Lego bricks depending on what's happening in the game. My favorites include the main theme and Fertile, but all of it sets the mood perfectly. Here, look. Close your eyes. Anyways, press start and pick a starting scenario. These range from easy to very hard, like a trader with lots of money, a group of 5 characters, all the way to a single naked man with 1 arm and no money. The game will generate a random character with plenty of customization to pick from, and, unlike other cowardly developers, lo-fi games have implemented racial mechanics, so you can get oppressed by someone, no matter who you are. Greenlanders are very good at science and cooking, Scorchlanders are good at stealth and blacksmithing, Hivers have a variant for anything, from being a heavy weapon-wielding Hulk, to a drone meant for menial labor. Shek are warriors who are good at fighting and not much else, while Skeletons, ancient robot men from the before times, are good at everything. Load in, likely arriving at Hub, depending on the start you choose. The game has real-time strategy controls like Age of Empires 2. This is necessary because you can have as many people under your direct control as you can feed and keep intact. They don't even have to be in the same zip code. Press C and look at your stats. 1 across the board. You are pathetic and worthless. This is standard practice. If there is one thing a veteran Kenshi player understands, it's that grind set mentality. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, buy dinner at the local bar between ruined houses, and start jogging. Running is very important, as soon as possible, so you can run away. Stats increase with use, much like in Skyrim. If you want to improve, you have to be shit first. To run faster, you must run fast. To get stronger, you must move and fight while overloaded. To get tougher, you have to get your teeth kicked in and your shit thoroughly rocked. You awake from your coma 8 hours later and spit your blood and teeth onto the sand. Go back to town and cry in the local inn. This process makes you think, hey, I could do that again, but with only half the tooth loss. And when you are sporting 1 to 0 teeth, the people will step aside in the dive bar, fearing your power. This works much like in real life. When your muscles get pushed to their limits, your body responds by working to make them stronger. In Kenshi, the act of your brain colliding with your skull, causing the brain to bounce around and killing brain cells, fortifies your cranium. You cannot kill what is already dead, and realize your caved-in head is not damaged, but tempered like fine steel. Did I mention? Skills affect your character visibly, and it is very satisfying to see your characters go from frail, hungry, and naked to 8-foot tall powerhouses, sporting the finest gear money can buy. Soon, after enough training and beatings, you'll be able to handle a small group of starving vagrants, and the first time you come out on top, it will feel amazing. But to get anywhere, you need money. Steal garbage, scavenge scrap, and hit the mines. Hitting copper and iron veins is your bread and butter early on. Use it to train strength and to buy starting gear. If you save, you can buy a house and pay some of the interesting NPCs to work with you. Notable examples of recruitable NPCs include Beep, the poster child of the Kenshi community, a hiver drone with big dreams of becoming the greatest swordsman. Rogue hivers choose their names based on the first thing they see. I don't know what Beep saw. Or Infinite Wingwang, who initially tries to charge $100,000 for his services, but can easily be talked down to 5,000 cats. And Agnew, a defective ancient skeleton and the only one of his model, who once freed from his cage, refuses to return to the area he was from, traumatized. However, Beep may calm Agnew down and return him to normal. Some research and development later, you can completely change the game by setting up an outpost. This will be hellish early on, especially if you set up shop in the wrong area. This is because every other faction wants a peace. The Holy Nation will knock on your gates and demand to speak with the man of the house for prayer day. A million different kinds of bandit factions will bash at your gates, and various alien-looking animals will eat your people's limbs off. But with some dedication, you'll be trading, technologically advancing, training, and tacking others onto your scrappy group of randos rapidly. You can assign your less combat-focused NPCs to do automatic, assigned, and prioritized jobs to slowly achieve the goal of self-sufficiency for your people. And soon you will be able to hoard all the money in the world from your weapon dealing and drug smuggling, feeding off the misery machine, repeating the cycle, and keeping everything bad for everyone else, because you are tired of getting pushed around, and I like to watch numbers get higher. The other side of the base building part of Kenshi is exploration. The world is massive and epic in scale, boasting a wide variety of locations and interesting weather. From the lush valleys and river of Okran's Pride to the fog-laden horror setting of the Fog Isles, the snow-like ashfall of the buried and ancient ashlands to the mysterious and lore-heavy implications of obedience, and 99 flavors of desert. Tread carefully. The continent has a wide variety of factions and creatures who will all kill you more creatively than the last. Gorillos to thrash you, beak things to be, unexplainably, the fastest fauna in the game, hated by all, leviathans to liquefy you, and skin spiders to suck the liquids out of you. Giant crabs. Anyways, none of them are as bad as the factions, bandits ranging from starving bandit to elite black dragon ninjas, cannibals to the north, skin bandits to the east. At least the fogmen and the cannibals use you for sustenance, and they don't discriminate. The Holy Nation is a fanatical, religious group dedicated to their fabled deity Okran. They hate skeletons, hivers, Shek, and women, utilize involuntary internships, and proselytize constantly. Sheks are much nicer, but call you smooth skin if you aren't Shek, which hurts my feelings. They are a warrior faction, under new leadership trying to slow the advance of war. They even split into rebel groups who oppose peaceful living. This is a direct quote from the wiki article. The Southern Hive is like an ant colony, but if they imprison you, they'll feed you to King, a crimper unit turned bug general, who apparently has a taste for flesh. I'm noticing a theme here. The United Cities are not racist, but classist. directed by a host of elite nobles in ivory towers and making more use of slave labor than anyone. But it's not all bad. There are rebel and opposing factions to all. Quite literally. The anti-slavers, led by Tin Fist. Tin Fist is awesome. I want Tin Fist to adopt me, and if I can't be adopted, I can adopt him, by force, and imprison him in my basement, where the only interaction he receives is daily cage matches to train my stats as high as possible. Fun fact, stat gain gets exponentially slower as you get stronger. I recommend when your grind slows to a halt, to use the worst gear you can find to get your stats lower so they can get higher, and train against the strongest enemies you can find, potentially the same enemy, forever. By now you've seen the world and handpicked all the best unique weapons and master-crafted armor for everyone. Combat happens automatically and is based on collision. Attacks pierce and collide with limbs, which can be disabled or worse. Characters are knocked unconscious when enough trauma is suffered by vital body parts like the head and chest, or when you have no blood left. Combatants will attack and block with speed and efficiency based on their statistics. Fighting in or above your league will allow for steady increases in power, but eventually the bloodbath will slow, and drooling at the violence will no longer sate you. I need to see limbs fly into space when I hit someone. No problem. Go get yourself a peeler machine or sit in some acid lakes. When your limbs pop off, replace them with expensive, juiced industrial lifter arms and prosthetic running legs. Now you're at the top of your game, and Beep refers to himself as Cyber Beep. Time for a boss rush. Take bounties for some extra cash on the side. You have side encounters like Leviathans and Cleanser units, single hard fights like the Bugmaster, finishing off the game with near-maxed stat faction leaders like Mad Catlon, the skeleton leader of the Ancient Era, now bitter and breaking down. The world of Kenshi will shift and evolve as you wipe out its influential leaders. Land will swing into the possession of others, and things will be noticeably shaken by your actions. If you are a person who struggles to set your own goals in open concept games like this one, then I'll give you one. End the world. Destroy every major faction from the inside, and sit alone atop your throne of skulls. You win. There was never much here, but now there is nothing. What have you done? Save, quit, and start again. Maybe as a store owner, just trying to get by, but now you know how to abuse the system. Also, Kenshi has an active modding scene, and you can fix bugs and deep fry your experience today. That being said, Lo-Fi Games still update Kenshi to this day, which is impressive because they're developing Kenshi 2 right now, so give them your money. Perfection is often defined as the condition, state, or quality of being free or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. Kenshi, save a mod or two to help out, has many defects, but they aren't flaws, they're features. To anyone who really understands how it feels to play this game, you will understand this. It was said that perfection does not lie in being flawless, but in loving the defect, and I love Kenshi very deeply. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.